Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. I'm your host, Francy Hall, and today is Wednesday, November 11th. Welcome to Wednesday, November 11th. We will be having on the show today, because it is timely, winter's almost upon us, the OPU talking about the water service line protection program they have. That's a new program that's being offered to us. And also we're going to be talking about transitional housing and their fundraiser that's coming up. We want you to know too that if you have ideas for future shows, if there are people that you think need to be on the show or programs to talk about or new events or activities or businesses in town, let us know. We'd like to have them on the show. You can contact us at owatonnatoday@charter.net. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors with OPU.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself.
Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Kick off your holiday season with Advocates for Developmental Disabilities' 25th Annual Festival of Trees, Friday, November 20th, 7:30 p.m. at the Owatonna Holiday Inn. The gala is a festive evening of sparkling trees, live and silent auctions, and delectable hors d'oeuvres and desserts, all wrapped in a package of goodwill. Tickets are available at Cashwise, Hy-Vee, Cockeys, and Incy Prints, or by calling 451-9769. Put some merry in your holidays by attending AD's Opening Night Gala, Friday, November 20th. Hope to see you there.
Welcome back. We are joined now by Owatonna Public Utilities Director of Field Operations, Roger Warehime. Thanks for being here, Roger.
Hello.
Hello. So winter's almost here.
It is.
I think it's actually supposed to be coming today, maybe a little bit. So we're going to talk about something new, which is the Water Service Line Protection Program. Mm-hmm. And as a homeowner, I'm actually very interested to learn about this. Right. So let's get started on it.
Well, it's a new program this year, but actually we rolled it out in January of this year. So we are on 11 months of having the program. And the program is about protecting the water service line between the meter and the main in the street. A lot of people don't realize that that is their property. And so if there's a leak or if it freezes or a valve breaks, it's their cost to make that repair. And it's an unexpected repair, obviously. It's something people don't think about because the water line's under the ground and you just don't think about it. And it can be very, very expensive. To repair a water service line because of the excavation that's required to dig down and repair it can be well over $3,000.
So that's pretty concerning as a homeowner, I can say. So the main is something that's owned by by Owatonna Public Utilities.
Correct.
And then the line that goes from that to you said the meter, which is the meter on my house. Mm-hmm. That's mine.
Correct.
And I have to take care of it if it breaks.
Yes.
And about $3,000.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay. So we should talk a bit about what are some of the causes of those pipes breaking?
Well, it could be, I'm sure, a number of things. The ground shifts or corrosion, the usual things that can happen from nature, or freezing, thawing, those kinds of things.
So freezing and thawing, okay.
Yeah.
So it's very possible
it can happen.
And depending upon how old it is, and I've got a house in 1952.
Right.
So how do I get enrolled in this program? Because we need this.
We made it as easy as possible as we could. We made this an opt-in program, which means at the beginning of the year in January, all of our residential customers that own their properties, as far as we could tell from our system, were enrolled in the program. Because we knew how hard it is to communicate to people, and what we did not want to happen was something that had happened to one of our employees' sons, who was in Rochester, who had a program. Rochester Public Utilities had a program similar to ours. He moved into a very new house, and within 2 months had a water service line break, and then found out about the program after, and he wasn't enrolled in it. So we did not want that to happen to us. And so we auto-enrolled everybody. But the problem with auto-enrolling people is, they might feel like we're sneaking it by them. And so because of that, what we did is we made it free for the entire first year.
Okay.
So there has been a $1.99 charge on your bill and then a $1.99 credit, so the net has been zero to you. But after December 31st, on your January bill, that credit's going to go away. So then you will be paying $1.99 a month for this protection.
So it's going to cost me maybe close to $24 a year,
right,
to pay for something that's going to save me $3,000
right,
at least.
Right,
for
and
that.
there's even some smaller things that the water service line in the ground breaking, that's the big expense, or what's called the curb stop or the curb valve that's out in the usually in the boulevard, which shuts the water off to the house and is usually not used. A lot of people don't even know where it's at. Sometimes it's buried, but those can leak as well. Those are the expensive items to repair. But there's also the meter valve that's in the house right before the meter. That can start leaking, and this program covers that as well. And the other thing is that a service line can freeze in the wintertime. Now, we didn't have any cases of that last year, but the year before, there were many, many customers that had their water service line freeze. And so the program will actually pay to thaw a frozen service line. Now, it'll only pay for it one time a year, because if it freezes, then you've got an issue, and we're going to get it unthawed for you, and then you probably need to run some water to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
So keep running it,
right,
is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
So since we rolled the program out in January, we've had 14 customers that have decided to opt out. So that's compared to about 7,500 customers that are in the program. So it's less than a 0.25%.
Yeah.
So I think most people are seeing the value of the program. And we have had, I brought my notes here, we've had 18 leaking meter valves. Those are the ones inside the house. And the average cost to repair those has been $275. And then we have had 8 leaking services or curb stops, and the average cost on those was $3,100.
Wow.
So that's what we've had.
That is $3,100 to repair. It just sounds so small. A curb stop, what is that?
A curb stop is a valve that's in the line, and there's basically a tube, if you will, that goes down to it, and so they use a wrench from the ground to close that. But they don't get operated very often, and so sometimes when they do operate them, they start to leak, or just over time they'll leak.
I'm just thinking about the plumbing problems of putting something really simple in, like we have a pedestal sink that we just could not for the life of us get in. How hard is it going to be for these much bigger plumbing systems? So, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I can figure out now why I need protection. Is there any other reason that we can think of that I need this protection?
Those are really the things. I mean, and it's a matter of the cost of this is expensive, but it's also never going to be planned. You're not planning to spend $3,000.
Sure.
So for a lot of people, that's not in the budget, and it's not a very fun thing to spend money on. If you spend $3,000 on something fun, you get the benefit, and you spend $3,000 on a leaking service line, and you just feel like it's back to the way it was. So I think it's a very good program that way. I think what people should do is just to make sure that they are covered, they might want to take a look at their bill again. And on the back side of it, where all the detail is, under the water section, they should see a line that says Water Line Protection Program. And for this month and December, that credit will still be there. And then in January, that credit will go away. So if you check and you don't see it there, give us a call, and we'll make sure we get you on it. Or if you feel like you're a risk taker and you just don't want to spend $24 a month for the protection.
For a year, $24 a year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a year, right. That's your choice, and contact us and opt out of the program. We also have the ability for landlords to get into the program. So for properties where the water is in the tenant's name, that is not showing up on the bill because it's to protect the property, so we didn't feel it was fair to have that charged on the renters. So landlords should have received a letter and been notified that if they would like to put their properties in the program, they can do so by letting us know.
Is there a different cost for them?
The cost is the same, but the billing's a little different. We're going to bill that annually instead of every month. So it'll still be, $1.99 times 12, but they'll have one bill per year.
Okay. So if they don't know about it, who do they contact about it?
Just call our main number and ask to speak with a customer service rep.
Okay. What's that number?
451-2480.
451-2480. Yeah. What is not covered on this program?
Well, some of the things that aren't, one thing I should mention that it's covered, and this is part of the expense, is the restoration of the street and the sidewalk if that needs to be torn up, and the curb. So basically the landscaping up to the property line.
Okay.
It does not cover any landscaping repair from the property line to the house.
Okay.
Now they'll fill in the trench and, that, but they're not going to put down sod or fix planters or anything like that. So that's not covered.
But if they dig up my yard, at least they're going to put back the dirt, and then it's up to me to take care of making it pretty again.
And some of the other things that aren't covered are if the curb stop I talked about, which people will see the valve box that sticks up, sometimes those are bent or they're sticking up or things like that. We're not fixing that. But if it's leaking, we're going to repair it. Okay. So basically it needs to be leaking or
if it's
frozen.
Cosmetic, you're not coming out and fixing it for us, but otherwise, okay. Okay. And I'm looking, was there any other, pre-existing conditions it doesn't fix?
Correct.
What are some of the other things it doesn't?
Well, pre-existing conditions are, really the person that says, I don't need this, and so they opt out. And then they have a problem, and they say, oh, I'll get on that program now. Well, we're going to come out and do an inspection and see if there's a valve leaking or something like that. Because it's not fair to the other customers that have been in the program the whole time for somebody to opt out and then try to opt in just to take advantage of it.
Sure, and I'm really, honestly, I'm praying for you people who opted out, because that would be terrible to forego paying $24 and then end up with a huge bill. Oh, that's not good. So how do they opt out? How do people, if they do want to opt out, I'm looking here, there's a form.
There is a form on the brochure, and this brochure was sent out originally in January, so I'm sure that people don't have it anymore, but they can get the form on our website or contact our customer service reps, and they'll give you a form. We do want to have the customer's signature saying that they opted out, because again, when that situation happens, it needs to be clear that they had the opportunity to get the protection and decided not to.
That makes perfect sense. And this is, again, so right now it's free until because we'll get it's on our bill as a cost, and then it's credited. And starting January.
Yep, January bill will no longer be free.
We're paying that $1.99.
That's right.
Okay, $1.99.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for telling us about this. Obviously, I actually did get this, and I thought it was something an opt-in, but it's an opt-out, which I think is better. Thank you very much, Roger, for being here. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, and thank you. Please stay with us. After a word from our sponsors, we will be right back with Transitional Housing and talking about their upcoming fundraising events and the programs that raises money for. Stay with us.
United Way is all about
seniors live life with purpose and dignity.
Building a community of opportunity.
Painting a brighter tomorrow.
Supporting all people in times of need.
Bringing neighbors together.
Investing in the building blocks of education, income, and health.
Please join us and all Napa Distribution Center employees by giving generously, advocating for a better quality of life, and volunteering your time. We all win when we
live united.
Hi, this is Eric with the West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center. A heated swimming pool, sauna, running track, cardio room, basketball court, weight room, and 6 tennis courts are among the amenities you can enjoy at our facility. We have a variety of membership packages available to meet the needs of everyone, or you can simply drop in for the day. Stop out today and take advantage of all we have to offer. West Hills Tennis and Fitness, encouraging and promoting a healthy lifestyle.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Brenda with the Mortgage Office of Brenda Bednar, aligned with American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, where closings feel right from the beginning. I'm a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I'm Deb Gillard. And I'm Shaw McNulty with Brookdale Owatonna Senior Living Solutions.
We are assisted living and Alzheimer's and dementia care communities here in Owatonna, and formerly known as Clare Bridge and Sterling House.
And we are proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back. We are joined now by Julie Anderson and Tammi Ferch, and we're going to be talking about upcoming fundraising events for transitional housing and also what those fundraising events are funding. So, hello, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having us,
Great
Francy.
to have you here. Hello, Tammi.
Hello.
And so, for people who don't know, this is Julie Anderson. What is your role with Transitional Housing?
Well, I'm the Executive Director of Transitional Housing, so I get the joy of working with people every day who are experiencing homelessness, whom we can help, typically in some fashion, and those who are at risk for homelessness.
Mm-hmm. I like that you said that. I get the joy of working with those people.
It's
I mean,
joyful.
It's a sad thing, but it's joyful to be able to help.
Absolutely.
Isn't
Absolutely. It's uplifting.
Absolutely. Tammi, how are you involved with Transitional Housing?
Well, I'm just a Owatonna citizen that loves music, and we're lucky to be able to put on a concert that will benefit transitional housing. So,
what inspired that?
Well, my husband and I met in college in the music department, and we've always been in bands and various groups in the community, and we love Owatonna, and people in Owatonna helped us raise our family. And we've always wanted to give back to them somehow, and that is just one of the ways we can do that. And it's also a good excuse. We love to play together with our musician friends, and what better way to do that than to give a concert that benefits others.
To do it for a good cause.
Exactly.
How did you rope Tammi into doing this? This is wonderful. How
We
did
are
you get
so
involved with
blessed.
her?
We are so blessed. I was at an event at Federated. It was kind of a volunteer event. So we were doing a volunteer fair, and Tammi approached me and said, I really have a heart for your program, and Michael and I believe very strongly in what your program does for the community. What would happen if we were to do a concert and the beneficiary would be you? So the proceeds would come to your agency and help people who are homeless. I said, yeah, I'm not going to say no to that. First of all, we love Tammi and Michael, and we love their talent. But secondly, the need is great. So what an opportunity to pull the community together and celebrate and honor those who are homeless and need the help.
And we want to talk about the other fundraising events coming up, but
Yes.
why don't we, since we're on this topic, why don't we talk a little bit about this? What is the event that you're doing, Tammi?
Well, it's an inspirational, you will hear Christian and inspirational music, and it's on Saturday, November 28th. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and we're hoping that we're not competing with too many other things in town so that people can come out and support us. There are about 25 of us involved in the event, including Trinity Youth, people from various groups that you might have heard of, including the Bad Tangerines, Hot and Bothered, the Gogs, Mile 5, our Trinity Youth, like I said, and then we're going to do everything from George Harrison to Sarah Bareilles to Need to Breathe, Lady Antebellum, Matthew West, so we're really super excited.
Oh, it sounds so good, and I wish I'm going to be here. I'm going to be somewhere else. Doggone it. I'm jonesing for some of this music that we also get at another event that usually takes place for the food show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of the same people plus some new faces, and it's going to be really, really, really
wonderful.
fun.
Yes, and what a way to kick off the holidays.
Yes.
November
November
we just
28th.
had this great family gathering, hopefully, and then you'll go on and start your holidays with this inspirational
Absolutely.
event. That's wonderful. Tell us a little bit. So first of all, let's just get out there about the other two fundraising events, and then let's talk about why we need
Absolutely.
to fund these things.
Absolutely, Francie. Well, on November the 18th, we will be having a breakfast at the Owatonna Holiday Inn. Again, that is November the 18th at 7 a.m. And this breakfast is free. We do ask people to call ahead at our phone number 507-446-9700 9315 to let us know that they wish to attend. And it's an opportunity to hear some personal testimonials about how transitional housing has made a difference for people and transformed their lives. The second event is actually a lunch, which is the following day, the 19th of November. That will also be held at the Owatonna Holiday Inn at noon. It's also free. We just ask people to call ahead. And the beautiful part about this event is that we do state the problem of homelessness, but we present the solutions, because this is not an untenable problem. This can be managed and it can be resolved. It can be solved. One of the other beautiful aspects of this event is that Francy Hall, our own Francy Hall, will be one of the speakers. Many people in the community are not aware that Francy was homeless as a youth. And she'll share her story. So this is a very compelling moment for all of us, and I just wanted to disclose that you you are going to be speaking at the event. Francy is also one of our board members for Transitional Housing.
So I know a little bit about the organizations. If we full disclosure, I know
Yes.
all about this stuff. And yes, I am going to be speaking about my experience of homelessness as a child with my family, and I would love for you to come and hear about that. So please do come for both the breakfast and the lunch.
Absolutely.
Not just for my testimonials, but for other people who are going to be
Thank you.
local people who are currently in this situation.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about that situation.
Yes.
There is homelessness in Owatonna.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's often hidden, as you know, Francy, as you experience, it's often hidden. We have, at any given year, approximately 100 children in the school district alone who are homeless. In our waiting list right now, we have over 30 families. And these are families that call every month to let us know they still wish to be on our waiting list. The great thing is we do have agencies like ours that respond to the problem. We work with a community of very generous people to get people into affordable housing. We pay for their first month's rent and damage deposit. We pay for a portion of the rent ongoing for a period of up to 2 years. And the client will also pay a portion of the rent directly to the landlord. This helps the client to become self-sufficient over time. They're gradually paying more and more of their share. They must work, they must go to school, if not work, and they must make progress towards self-sufficiency. So it's really an empowerment model. We also have an eviction prevention program for those people who are temporarily in a bind. So for example, let's say, Francy, you're already in an apartment, but you just need help for 1 month because maybe your husband passed away, maybe you had a medical condition that kept you from making your payments for rent that month, and you just fell behind for 1 month. Well, we don't want you to cycle into homelessness. We want to stop that cycle. So we have a separate program called eviction prevention for those cases. Very, very responsive and effective program.
Absolutely, because what's the best way to cure homelessness is to prevent it.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's just not let it happen.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And you think about all the fundraisers that are going on now for people who have cancer or other medical conditions because they can't work and they can't afford their bills. And so that's a reality.
It's very much a reality for people who never thought they would end up in that situation.
Sure, absolutely. What does homelessness look like in Steele County?
For the most part, what we're seeing is families, people with children, often school age, who are doing what we call couch hopping. So they're going from home to home to home, staying for a couple nights here, a couple nights there, and then the family members say, I'm sorry, you can't stay past tonight because we really have our own challenges with funds. And so people are really just trying to make ends meet. We do see people in cars, living in cars. We do see people living in streets. You see them every day. But more often than not, it's hidden. It's people with children, sometimes fleeing domestic violence. Sometimes they're poor for other reasons, or they're experiencing homelessness for other reasons, like a disruption in the family. Sometimes mental illness can factor in there. But more often than not, it's people who are simply unable to make ends meet. They're not able to make their rent payments, so they receive an eviction notice and they're back to going couch hopping or living in their cars. And parents will tell their children, don't tell anybody you're homeless, because they're afraid that their children are going to be taken away.
Exactly. So then what happens? I mean, if you're not telling somebody about the problem can't really be solved.
Right.
So that's another thing.
Under the radar.
Yeah, and so many people have issues that are, that there's a trifecta, whether it's abuse and drug, physical abuse and drug
Absolutely.
abuse and mental health issues. But then you add into that, what's the key thing here? Money and
Absolutely.
the lack of resources and the expense of housing. So there are people who have all of those problems, but maybe don't have the lack of money problem.
Right.
And for them, it's
situational homelessness, or you're right. It snowballs.
So many,
many issues at once.
So affordable housing. How do we find the the houses.
Yes, we have
house
some
people
great landlords. We have a list of landlords that we work with. Some are private landlords who are not part of a big corporation, and some are the corporate type of landlords. And we basically work with the client to access those places and apply. And work with them on making sure they're making a sound decision that when they can afford it once they're done with our program. So we work with a number of corporations and we work with private landlords who are new at being landlords, and it works very well.
So there's a lot of partnership taking place.
Very much so, and very caring and compassionate landlords as well.
And very caring and compassionate people in our community who are a part of the partnership, who are doing things like this Hope Give Hope concert, right? And the people who will be coming to the breakfast and the lunch. One more time, what date, what place for the lunch and the
Wonderful. Breakfast. The breakfast is November the 18th at 7 a.m. Owatonna Holiday Inn. November 19th is the lunch at the Owatonna Holiday Inn. And people can choose which event they wish to, what makes sense for them, and they can call ahead and let us know. And then on November the 28th, at 7 p.m. is our Give Hope concert with Tammi, Michael, Ferch, and their friends, and we're very much looking forward to it.
That's Owatonna High School.
Owatonna High School, okay. And you can get more information about that, 446-9315. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
And thank you so much for joining us. Stay with us. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors with our community announcements.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to Transitional Housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Welcome to Bremer Bank. I am Jason Iberg.
And I am Shannon Pedersen.
Bremer is a full financial services bank.
We invite you to stop by Bremer Bank and experience the Bremer difference.
You are always welcome at Bremer.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show. It is time for your community announcements. Salvation Army is looking for bell ringers to raise the funds that they need to provide the services that they provide in our community. The phone number to call if you're interested is 413-6700. Steele County Toys for Tots is starting their annual toy drive. You will be able to find the boxes where you can drop off new unwrapped gifts for children aged 0 to 15 years old. If you need more information about where to find those drop boxes, or if you need to apply to receive those toys, go to owatonna-mn.toysfortots.org. The Owatonna Arts Center is having a wine and cheese tasting to benefit the Arts Center on November 13th from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. St. Paul's Episcopal Church has their annual 75th, it's annual bazaar, it's their 75th annual bazaar. That's taking place Saturday, November 14th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They are also having a brunch with quiche and other items for sale there, and they're having a history display. The church has been there since 1860, and they've been doing this for 75 years, so that should be very interesting. Santa's Workshop, Triumph Graphics is turning into Santa's Workshop on November 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You and your kids can make ornaments. You can pick up also your new Triumph Graphics calendar. The Eliminate Homelessness event for Steele County Transitional Housing is taking place Wednesday, November 18th at 7 a.m. for the breakfast, or Thursday, November 19th at noon for the lunch. Both events are at the Owatonna Holiday Inn. Call 446-9315 for more information. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do come back and join us on Friday. We're going to be speaking with advocates for developmental disabilities about their programs and about their event, Festival of Trees, and we're meeting with the Women's Club about their charity event. Come and join us then.